1. Blog Talk Radio.
Don't touch me. I'll beat your brains out.
You believe in miracles? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. Let's get ready to rumble. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Gypsy. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Yep.
I think that the NFL knows what Randy Moss has done with marijuana, and I think the NFL knows what Randy Moss does with marijuana.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we get
Dude, I can't.
Good morning. And thank you for joining me.
Top of the morning, everybody. Those of you already on Facebook and Instagram Live, the millions listening around the world on blogtalkradio.com, live from Hollywood, California. This is Tough Love. I'm Alistair Conrath. Welcome to the show. I got my buddy on Instagram Live, Lonnell, one of my best comic buds, wanting to join in on the video on Instagram, but I can't because Facebook Live won't see it. Blog Talk Radio might not hear it. Lonnell, I love you, bro. You know that. I would kill to bring you on. If it was just Instagram, I would bring you on in a millisecond. Hope you're doing well. I just saw your video, by the way, this morning on Instagram. That is, it's funny stuff. Those of you who don't know, my buddy, his name is Lonnell Price. Look him up on Instagram. He is one of the funniest people I know and gonna be a star. Love you, bud. Anyway, welcome to Tough Love. Like I say, I'm Alistair. Hope everybody is having a good Sunday fun day so far. 30 minutes this week. Last week, I should have done 30 minutes. I did 15 minutes of the Vikings and whoever they played, the Jags, recap. But there were so many other things that I wanted to hit on. It's kind of late to the party now, so I'm not going to do it. But this week, I put it out to 30 because there are some things that I'd rather talk about after talking about the Seahawks and the Vikes, which took place on Friday night. And so let's get to it. Real quick. Again, this is preseason, right? Every week, every preseason, people just freak out and so forth. There are certain things, though, that you should be concerned about if you are a Vikings fan. Yes, they won. It doesn't matter. Again, it's preseason. Doesn't matter. But the Vikings offensive line better get their shit figured out really fast and get healthy really fast. Otherwise, it will be a long season. Larry, I love you, bud. Good morning. The offensive line... Granted, it's, there's backups in, so it's not going to be perfect. But Kirk Cousins looked uncomfortable in the pocket. And here is my only example that I can give, and it's a bad one at that. But in high school, I played quarterback for a couple years. My offensive line, no offense to any of you watching this right now, but I, at 5'9", 165, was as big as two of them. And the other three weren't that much bigger. So needless to say, every time I dropped back for a pass, which honestly we ran in a veer option, we didn't pass a lot, but every time I dropped back for a pass, by the third or fourth step, the defensive line was already in. They were in on me. So every time I dropped back, I automatically just felt under pressure, and that is what it looks like Kirk Cousins is going through. Even when he has pressure, or even when he has a clean pocket, it looks as though he's rushing it. And that is because the offensive line has proven to be weak and let Kirk Cousins get hit. Therefore, that is why he's rushing, he's hurrying, he looks uncomfortable. Offensive line better get their shit together. Run blocking, they look fine. They look fine. But the problem is, you've got great weapons. Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, Rudolph, Dalvin Cook on the backfield. Treadwell looked good. So on and so forth. If you don't have time to pass the ball, it doesn't matter who you have. Ask Tom Brady about his 2 of the 3 Super Bowl losses to the Giants. If you don't have time to throw, it doesn't matter who you have. You could have 4 Randy Mosses. It doesn't matter if you can't get him the ball. It doesn't matter. So, that is my biggest concern through 3 preseason games, is getting the offensive line intact, because right now it's scary. It's scary. You've got F-line, whatever his face, who's out for who knows what. He's supposed to be back by week 1, but now it's not looking like it. You've got a left guard who's out for a year. You've got a right guard in Remmers who finally played but looked like shit. Rashad Hill didn't look good. I'm telling you right now, football is so simple. Outside of the playbook, you build from the inside out. It's really easy. If you can't block anybody, or pass block, run block or pass block, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to win. The Vikings have a great defense, no doubt about it. There has been issues this preseason, in my opinion, where it hasn't looked as good as they should be. Linebacker isn't as good as they should be. Eric Kendricks is a beast. Anthony Barr, I've always expressed my distaste in Anthony Barr. Gideon is serviceable. What do you want? That's all he is. As far as cornerback goes, you got Xavier Rhodes. He's awesome. But on the other side, you got Trey Waynes, who's a piece of shit. And I've said that from day one. He's horrible, and if he were to get hit by a bus, I wouldn't care. Hughes, the first-round pick, looks great. And I would love it if Trey Waynes played so bad that they put Hughes outside and just said, you know what, let him take his bumps, but he is going to be better than Trey Waynes. Trey Waynes sucks so bad, I don't understand how he's still on a team. He is terrible. And it kills me just watching him be the weakest link on that defense. Mackenzie Alexander is doing better. And that's really saying something. But the Vikings have some issues. They're 2-1. It's preseason. Preseason doesn't matter. I'm worried. I said it before the season. I said it when they signed Cousins. I was not thrilled about it. More so than anything, just because of the money that they gave up for him. But you watch Tom Brady. Mark Stevens is on Facebook right now. Huge Patriots fan. What's up, Mark? Huge Patriots fan. Watches Tom Brady, obviously, week in and week out, and has his whole life. He's a spoiled Boston fan compared to us Vikings fans. But the beauty of Tom Brady is that he sits back in the pocket so calm. The rush can come, and he's smart enough. If it's too much, he just goes down. But he sits back with this crazy calm, and that is what Kirk Cousins doesn't have right now. He gets back there, and because, like I said, because the offensive line has proven to let people through and get to Cousins quick, all of a sudden, he's got happy feet. He's not comfortable back there. But you need to learn to channel that inner Brady, if you will. Be calm back there. Brady looks like he's getting just massaged back there. I'd say something else, but kids might be watching. That's my only concern. O-line got worked. Cousins looks uncomfortable. He still was 17-28, a $185. It is what it is. Special teams. Holy shit. Special teams. This is the second punt return for a touchdown that they've given up. Daniel Carlson, the rookie kicker who the Vikings drafted in the 5th round, wins the starting job over Kai Forbath and then proceeds to miss his first 2 field goals from 42 yards. After the first one, Mike Zimmer went for 2 just to send a message. he better shape that shit up. I mean, you can't have it. Otherwise, you will go for 2. There's a lot of teams in high school and college who do that, by the way, and just say screw the extra point, because the actual statistics prove that going for 2 is almost more beneficial than going for 1. If the Vikings are put in that position, they made a massive mistake by letting Forbath go. Here's the other side. I'm sorry, I don't know if anybody's trying to call in. I'm not on that page. Okay, nobody is. If you want to call in, 213-943-3423. Facebook Live, Instagram Live, what's up? Blog Talk Radio, good morning. The Vikings went 13-3 last year. Yes, they got Sheldon Richardson at D-tackle. Allison, good morning, beautiful. I love your pineapple juice deal, by the way. I'm drinking it as we speak, just for you. But Vikings went 13-3 last year. They aren't doing that again this year. Here's something that is of grave concern to me as a Viking fan. Every time the Vikings in our past, and I'm not old enough to remember the 70s, I was born in them, I don't remember them, so the Vikings Super Bowls. But ever since then, the Vikings, if they've made a surprise season or have gotten to the NFC Championship game, the next year has been a shithole. It's an absolute train wreck. 98, should have won the Super Bowl, lose to the Falcons in the NFC Championship. The next year, not good. The fall, I think, in fact, Denny Green might have got fired that year. I'm not positive, but it was a bad year. After the 09 season, and there's been a couple in between that, but 09, Brett Favre's first year here, he blows up, NFC Championship game. They should have won over the Saints. They lose. The next year, they have the same team intact, bring it back. Big expectations. They end up, I think, 6-10. Favre gets injured. His career is over. Not good. Mark is right. 99 made playoffs, lost to Rams. So it must have been the 2000 season. But either way, wasn't by Allison. Wasn't a good year after. I think everybody needs to temper expectations. We all want a Super Bowl in Minnesota. We all want a Super Bowl. It's just our schedule is more difficult. Kirk Cousins and this offense is new. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want more than anybody to win a Super Bowl. Obviously, it's just there's also this reality side of me that takes over. And, deep down knows maybe Minnesota just is never going to win a Super Bowl. And so maybe that, helps temper expectations. Ryan, good morning. I just don't know if, 13-3, don't count on it. Even though you add, some people, I just don't know. B-Rad, if it's realistic. So that's all I'm saying is just temper expectations. 13-3 is not going to happen again. I highly doubt it. Kirk Cousins and the offensive line need to get better. Bottom line. It was great to see Dalvin Cook. It was good to see Dalvin Cook. And even though it was only 2 plays, it was good to see him. He feels 100%. Obviously, he won't play this week. But week 1 against the 49ers, it will be interesting to see how much he goes. Because Latavius Murray, outside of his 2 fumbles last week, has looked really, really good. Really good. I'm assuming, being that Rock Thomas didn't even get a touch on Friday night, that Matt Boone will be the 3rd running back. I think that is set in stone unless something happens in this 4th game, which I have a feeling both of them are going to get some run. But Dalvin Cook, it was good to see. So that is enough of the Vikes. Let's just be realistic and hope for the playoffs. And then once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. Right? Right? Yes, I did watch the fight last night, Dino. I did. Of course I watched the fight. I'm a boxing guy. A good fight. I won't talk about it because no one else gives a shit about it. It wasn't a massive fight. Triple G and Canelo is mid-September, which honestly I don't give a shit about that either. But moving on. Dalvin Cook into a former Viking running back. Adrian Peterson. Here's the deal. All of you Adrian Peterson haters out there, and you can hate him for off-the-field stuff. I know many of you do. Many of my friends do. All right? But Adrian Peterson, to me, is a lot like the Tiger Woods situation. When Tiger Woods went through all those surgeries and everything was going on, people wrote him off. People said he's done. He's not ever going to golf again. He'll never come back. He'll never be Tiger again. And you can go back on my shows. But I said, as long as he is healthy again, he'll play golf. It's not as though he forgot how to play. He physically couldn't do it. And once all of a sudden he's healthy, he's not winning yet. But the last two majors he's been in, he's had shared the lead the last, on Sundays, the last two times. Tiger's back, bitches. And I said so 5 years ago when everybody else called him out. Adrian Peterson is different than all of us. All of us. Physically gifted more than I've possibly ever seen any human being. People, I'm 42 years old. I feel I can still do things. I'm not comparing, but he's 33 and a world-class athlete who keeps himself in better shape than most 21, 22, 23-year-old pro football players. I don't understand how everybody just thinks he forgets how to play and writes him off so fast. That is the society we live. Out of sight, out of mind, apparently. Because he showed on Friday, whatever, that he still has it. He still has the burst. He still has the power. Is he a 3-down back? No. Has he ever been? No. Can he still rush for 1,000 yards? Yes. Yes, he can. Can he still carry the rock 25 times a game? Yes, he can. I don't see why you people just don't understand sports and the physical dynamics of sports and the mental capacity it takes to be the best. Adrian Peterson is a no doubt for sure Hall of Famer. For sure Hall of Famer. And it takes something to get there. People like us sitting on the couch, you don't get it. We don't understand what it takes to be that mentally strong and physically gifted. Adrian Peterson isn't a slum running back who's just trying to make a comeback. He's one of the best ever to play. And he showed it Friday night. He gets the raw first carry 7 yards and with power and explosion. The same AP that led the league in rushing 3 years ago? Like, I don't get it. What do people think? You hit 30 and all of a sudden you just lose it? For some people, yes, that might be the case. But Adrian Peterson has proven time and time and time again that he's not just like everyone else. Guy comes off an ACL injury 9 months later and almost breaks Eric Dickerson's rushing title. What is wrong with you people? How could you write somebody like that off? I don't get it. And yes, the game has changed and he's not a 3-down back, but it doesn't matter. He's Adrian fucking Peterson. And I don't understand. He showed it Friday night. I hope he gets a starting job. I hope he goes over 1,000 yards just so I can tell every single one of you who doubted him to suck it. It kills me. I don't understand. I love AP. I think he's so great. I love watching him play. I love watching him run. It's so amazing. It is the best mix of Barry Sanders and Jim Brown anybody has ever seen. And it's unreal. It's unreal. So I just love that he's back. I love that he's getting an opportunity. I know within himself he has what it takes to keep going. And his his body is ready. He carried the ball 7 straight times. The guy hasn't played since October or whatever it was, November, and they give it to him 7 straight plays, and he's like, and it's insane. Everybody is just like, oh, the AP's washed up. It's washed up. You guys know nothing. Not you people watching. Nobody listening. I'm talking about you know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you people. I'm talking about the people who are doubting AP. And I will put this out, and hopefully everybody can hear it who doubted him. I pray he stays healthy. That's the biggest thing. If he stays healthy, he will rush for over 1,000 yards. Guaranteed. You heard it here first. Speaking of Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson are going to have their one match play for $9 million. $9 million, November 23rd. It's the day after Thanksgiving. And I think it's great. I love it. The only thing I hate is that it's on pay-per-view. That just sits so wrong with me. I don't want it to be on pay-per-view. I'm not paying to see Phil and Tiger on pay-per-view. I know there's a ton of people who are going to watch Tiger and Phil on pay-per-view, but I'm not. Come on. And I wouldn't pay $10 to see it. I'll see it for free. All of you, if you get a chance, Kodi.tv/download. KODI.TV/download. And you can stream it. You can stream anything in the world for free. But I love the fact that they're doing this. Tiger and Phil, they've gotten to the point in their careers where they talk shit, and I think it's fun. They're giving it, needling each other at the moment. It will ramp up after the Ryder Cup, but I think it's great. I hate the fact that it's pay-per-view. Boxing, speaking of which, Dino, is showing that you do not need to have pay-per-view to get good ratings. Granted, Triple G and Canelo on September 15th will be a pay-per-view event, but outside of that, you have seen some of the best boxers in the world on ESPN lately. Vasily Lomachenko, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Terrence Crawford, top 5, if not top 3, pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Free on ESPN. For those of you who have cable, which is 99.9% of the population, probably. I know that's a little bit of a stretch. I don't care. But Tiger and Phil could be on CBS. It could be on ESPN. The fact that it's on pay-per-view, it just bugs the shit out of me. It's just, that doesn't strike me as a pay-per-view event. It just doesn't. What do you do? What do you do? It is what it is. So on. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but Jimmy Garoppolo equals Aaron Rodgers. And the only reason I say it is because both of them sat for a few years under arguably two of the best, if not the best, football quarterbacks in the history of the game. Jimmy Garoppolo has it. Aaron Rodgers obviously has it. And both of those two are in good situations. I just watch Jimmy G. I'm not saying this year's just going to be unbelievable, but Jimmy G will be a Hall of Famer obviously barring injury, but by the time it's all said and done, Jimmy G will be a Hall of Famer. I'm going to finish up. Just want to make sure. 6 minutes left. That's fine. Just end it with Urban Meyer and Ohio State football program debacle. It's a slippery slope. Obviously, spousal abuse, domestic abuse is bad, right? I don't think that's arguable. The position that Urban Meyer is in is a difficult one. And I know as our society is, we love to just pile on. We've seen it with Tiger Woods. You know, we've seen it with many examples. People who, you know, do certain things. Tiger Woods is the worst person in the world for, you know, a little while because he cheated. Heaven forbid, like nobody cheats, you know. So he liked to bang whores. What's the problem? But I think people need to just put themselves in Urban Meyer's position and think about what you would have done. And, you know, does he know the extent of what happened? You know, I mean, think about your friend, you know, and you just hear stuff. You question him about it. It's not that big a deal. It's, you know, this and that. She's overreacting. What do? Obviously, as a friend, you're like, hey, be careful. Don't do something stupid, you know, that could, you know, put you in jail, hurt her, whatever. But as just a friend, you don't know exactly what's going on. You don't. So I guarantee you, the guy didn't go up to Urban and was like, yeah, I smack the shit out of my lady every night, you know, and it's, you know, if that were the case, I think Urban Meyer would have possibly done it differently. And I don't think I'm covering for him. I think that's reality. If a buddy of mine, if I found out through my wife that a buddy of mine, his marriage was physical, I would talk to him and just say, hey, what's going on? And being that he's my friend, there's a good chance I'm going to believe what he says. And that is probably what Urban Meyer did. It's like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and he was probably told, it's, you know, it is what it is, blah, blah, blah. It's this, you know, he didn't come out and was like, yeah, Urban, I kicked the shit out of my wife every night and da. I guarantee you if that was the case, Urban Meyer probably wouldn't have continued the relationship. Or he would have said, get your shit straight, stop doing it, seek counseling, do something. I think everybody, again, is piling on. We're in a society now that, you know, there's a NASCAR racer whose dad said something racial back in the 80s. And one of the sponsors pulled their sponsorship of this racer. The racer didn't say anything. The racer said nothing. His dad did. And because of that, back 30 fucking years ago, this sponsor pulled their sponsorship. Think about the society we live in right now. So for this to come up, Urban Meyer is automatically at fault. He's the devil. How could you? And let me tell you something. I'm not sticking up for him, but I don't necessarily know if everybody knows the full extent of the story. I was married one time. Quick little story. My wife had a temper. I had a temper. I still do have a temper.
90 seconds.
She came after me one night, you know, in a fit of rage, candle iron in hand, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, she calls the cops. The cops show up. They look at me, they look at her, and I'm bloody. And they're like, who called? And I was like, she did. And they were about to take her into custody because of what she did. I held her down so I wouldn't get beat, you know? All I'm saying is nobody knows the true story. And to sit there and blame Urban for not throwing himself in the middle of it is ignorant. And I'm sorry, but our society needs a reality check. Is it wrong? Obviously, any spousal abuse is wrong both ways. But to bring somebody else in who has no clue on what's going on, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. So, I'm going to end on that. I hope you all have a fantastic Sunday fun day, whatever you do. And I will see you all next Sunday I will put up another video of Kiko Alonso being an
10
idiot.
seconds.
And obviously having CTE here shortly. Have a wonderful Sunday fun day. Drive fast, take chances. Tough love is out. See you.